All right. Okay. I'm waiting for the countdown. Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining us for our very first episode of Blockchain Whales. Today we got Elijah, a.k.a. Dr. Jpeg, founder of Non-Fungible Arcade, and a well-respected peer in the NFT community. If this is your first time tuning in, I'm Steve Trang, sales trainer, and every month we help hundreds of people buy more houses at deeper margins. If you want more information about that, DM me the word sales. And I'm on a mission to create 100 millionaires, and the information on this podcast alone is enough to help you become a millionaire. If you'll take consistent action, I assure you that you will become one. And this show is brought to you by blockchainwhales.com. If you get value today, please tag a friend, share this episode, and that way we can all grow together. And this is a live show, so if you guys are watching on Twitter Spaces, be sure to click the YouTube link and ask your questions for Elijah to answer. You ready?
Yeah, man. I'm actually going to have to DM you because I'm going to see what's good with that.
All right, sounds good. So first question is, what got you into crypto?
Oh, man. Yeah, so what got me into crypto? So I have a buddy back in 2017, he got into crypto. And I remember at the time I was living out here in Arizona. Mm-hmm. And I flew back to see him. Went on a trip and we were visiting. And he's like, hey, I got to tell you about this thing. I was like, what's up? He's super excited. And he shows me a YouTube video. And it was like a TA video. And I would, I mean, to spare you the details, I didn't get super excited. So I was like, that's cool, man. So anyways, yeah. So I kind of skipped out on that in 2017, but that saved me from having some PTSD and all the stuff that people went through.
So real quick, for people that may be unfamiliar, TA. What is TA?
Yes. So TA is like when people basically they'll try and chart. Some people think it's accurate and you can follow the market.
Like the candlesticks
trends.
And
yeah, exactly. So trying to follow trends to see where the market's going to go. It's going to go up. It's going to go down.
That was his way to trying to sell you into crypto. Was watching those charts.
Yeah, that's hard. Yeah, it wasn't a good pitch. That wasn't a good pitch. So that wasn't it for me at the time. And then launched a business. Was doing consulting. And did really well, and we revisited the topic in 2020. It's like, hey, you got to have somewhere to park your money, other than a savings account. And looked at some charts and was seeing how things were moving, and I was super interested. So I got into Ethereum under $200, and that was that, man. So,
that was a good time.
Yeah.
So you were saying to spare you some PTSD. So for people that may be unfamiliar, because like my audience is traditionally real estate background.
Yeah.
So for someone that's, talking about PTSD, because like for some people right now, what the heck is blockchain? Even today, right? What the heck is blockchain? What's Bitcoin? What is this and that?
Yeah.
So what was that PTSD someone would have experienced?
Yeah. So, the market was euphoric in 2017. I want to say it jumped from like $3,000 Bitcoin, $3,000 to 20,000. Or so, and then it crashed, man, and it was a rough. I know 2018 was rough. So
what did it crash down to? Do you remember?
I don't off the top of my head. We'll have to check. But it was bad. I mean, I think it was somewhere around like it went back down to around 3K. So
okay, it's
a bad day if you bought the top at 20 and you're sitting on. Hey, listen, I've done it with some coins. I've done it with some coins. It's not fun, but that was that. So fast forward to 2020. Jumped in and I thought it was cool. Downloaded Coinbase and was watching the numbers go up, because prior to that I never really did any trading or anything like that. So I was like, this is amazing, because in crypto versus traditional stocks, like in traditional stocks, I think like a 1 to 3% move is like, oh yes. In crypto, like you get 30% fluctuations, like, and that's just like an average Tuesday. So
yeah. The swings are crazy.
Yeah,
so
it's different.
All right, so you started parking some money.
Yep.
So I guess for you, what were you doing in that situation to be in a position to have to park money?
Yeah. So, like I said, I had built a good amount of money from running a consulting business, and we were doing really well. And my best friend, he was like, "Hey, man, like you should check this out again." We just revisited it, and I trusted him and kind of threw some money at it, and was like, "Oh, hey," and I threw some more, and then started playing with house money and trading coins and things like that. And like I said, there's some wins, there's some losses, and I think the biggest thing for me is I realized, okay, I have to pick a trend, because when you start trying to follow people on Twitter and on YouTube and really watch the flow of information, if you don't know exactly what you're doing, it's exactly like gambling. So you got to pick a sector that you feel comfortable with and can kind of analyze and look at and be like, oh, okay. Like with real estate with you, for example, you could, you could look at some numbers or look at some different figures and be like, okay, well, this is a good investment or a bad investment. So for me, that was the entertainment sector. So got into Theta, got into Veracity, and some other coins, Scala, and things like that. So and it went well for me.
So, consulting business. What were you consulting in?
Yeah. So what happened is I was running around in the fitness space. So I used to be a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
Transitioned to sitting in front of the computer now, but I was in the fitness space, and at the time was working with a guy and was running one of his gyms, and I was like, hey, I was chatting with him. I was like, like we pumped the numbers up. We're doing like really good. Everyone's having great results. What's going to take for me to be a partner? And to save a long story, essentially made an offer for me to purchase the gym, and it was just like too high. So I'd been looking at going online for a long time, because the difference is when you have a gym in a central location, the only people that you can help are the people around in your area. And it's very competitive. So I have to
ultra competitive.
It's ultra competitive. Yeah. So I have to make sure that people know about my gym, they know where I am, and they know that I'm their best choice. So that's pretty difficult to do. And it's relatively on a small scale. Best case scenario, you can get a couple thousand people, and it's great because you can get to change a couple thousand lives. But I wanted to go large scale, so I'd already been looking at this for about 12 months, and was like, I like it. I like the in-person thing. But so decided that I was going to buy the gym. Went online, and man, it was awesome. Got to help people all over the world. I think like 13 different countries.
Wow.
Yeah. So pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got into the entertainment side, and you said that went well. So for context, because like crypto is really fascinating, how much you can just kind of moon, right? You can go to the moon, and you cannot. It goes the other way around. So what's an example when you said like you did really well, like for some rough numbers?
Yeah, so I think on I got into a Theta, and I think I got in at like around $1, and that went up to $20, and I cashed out around the top. So it's casual 20x, which is can be amazing, man.
Absolutely. All right, so we talked about the hesitations you initially faced. Like you look at it, it's like, nah, not really it for me, and then you just realize you need to park your money somewhere else. What were some of the major challenges, or what was a major challenge you had initially, or a struggle with getting into the space in 2020? Or I mean, was it just easy when you got in, or is there some?
Yeah. So I remember it was a life-changing moment. Not to sound cringy, but I remember it very well. I was on the phone with my friend. We were texting, and then we were talking, and he almost kind of snuck it in, and I think he knew that it was about to blow. Like I said, he was a big TA guy, and people say what they want about it, but it's proven to help people make a lot of money in the space.
Yeah.
So we're on the phone, and I was literally like sitting on my floor just chilling. And he's like, you got to go download this app, Coinbase, and he's walking me through Litecoin and Ethereum and Bitcoin. And I'd heard of Bitcoin at the time, but Litecoin, Ethereum. What else did we get? Tezos. There's a few other ones that we got into, but Ethereum was the one. He's like, yeah, man, this is gonna be this is gonna be big, and that was one that I really bet big on. I put some money in Litecoin too, but people that are in the audience right now that know about Litecoin, they probably feel the same frustrations that I felt. So it was it wasn't the performer, but you know how it is, man. You can't win them all.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, I can't remember exactly what year it was, but my brother's telling me like, you got to buy Bitcoin. It was like $500. Like, you got to get into Bitcoin. You got to get into Bitcoin.
Oh
like,
man.
Like, what is this?
Yeah.
This is stupid.
Yeah.
No, like I don't own anything. Like, kind of like the very first time I heard about Steam, like you can download the games versus like owning it, even though like we don't really care about the value of the disc. It's like, wait a minute,
It's tangible.
yeah, like I'm just pay something online, and like if they go out of business, like I'm out. Like, how does this work?
Yeah.
And so, needless to say, that was a mistake.
Yeah. No, I'll tell you what, man. I like I said, I made the same mistake. But yeah, I mean, it was easy. The transition and the experience with Coinbase. If you guys, if you don't have Coinbase, I would highly suggest you check it out. It's a good place to start. Make sure it's almost like Robinhood, but you can buy crypto, and it's super friendly. And then YouTube some stuff before you move to the less, I guess you could say, traditional route.
Yeah.
So.
Now you said you got your friend that was helping you along the way.
Yep.
Was he the only person that you worked with, or did you collaborate with anybody else?
Yeah, so at the time, he was telling me about it, and I was really excited. So we would kind of communicate back and forth, but I was spending a lot of time in it. So I hopped on Twitter, and I started following kind of all the big names in coin trading and stuff like that. I started trying to look at these different courses to more or less for TA and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it was just kind of it was like a lone wolf thing, and I'm very I enjoy a community aspect about things, and it was fun. But yeah, it was me and him kind of just working on things and finding coins to invest in, and
yeah. Because for me, it was really fascinating. I mean, the very first community I joined was Neo Tokyo.
Yeah.
All right, and it's a really amazing community. Everyone's really helpful.
Yeah, it is. Neo Tokyo is great, and I think that's the big thing that transitioned me from trading coins to NFTs. Was looking at the aspect and the power of community inside of NFTs versus traditional trading and things like that.
Yeah. So was the first thing you did? I mean, there's probably a few different ways you can go, right? With just like in real estate, there's a whole bunch of different ways you can go. I imagine in the blockchain world, there's a few different ways you can go, right?
Yep.
There's people that are still just trading coins.
Yep.
There are people that are building NFT projects. There's people that are staking. Like, was NFT like your next thing that you jumped into, or was there anything else along the way?
Yeah, I've staked a few coins here and there. A few staked Theta. You got T Fuel, and then like I said, there was a couple other coins. I think you could stake Tezos at the time, and Cardano was another one that I got into.
Becker loves that one.
Yeah, he's a big fan of that. But it was there was opportunities to stake and do things like that, but NFTs were kind of the next transition, more or less. And I was like, hey, this is really cool. So, do
you remember the first one you bought?
Yeah, so I actually bought I'll have to show it to you, but I bought a piece from a solo artist. I really was looking at things. My girlfriend's an artist, so I was really looking at one pieces on like super rare and things like that, in supporting those artists before I jumped like super heavy into the I guess you could say the bigger community driven projects. I wanted to look at things and see how they were, and it was it's a bear and it's a bull, and it's like purple background, and it was super cool. The artist is out of Brazil. I'm having a hard time remembering his name right now, but I was like, wow. I was like, that is amazing. Like, just imagining it, like up on my wall, but now it's just sitting in my wallet. So I haven't put it up on my wall yet. But
yeah. I mean, it was really interesting. Like for a long time, if you were an artist, like you really didn't get a lot of regard.
Yeah.
You're pretty much treated really poorly. Like I have my brokerage, Stunning Homes Realty. Like when I got my logo made, I went to like 99 Designs.
Yeah.
And just like people are just treated horribly in that space. And what's really cool with the NFT space is like if you're a good artist, you can make a lot of money.
Yeah.
In this space.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because the term starving artist might have been valid even 5 years ago, or you could argue 3 years ago, but the opportunity that's out there right now, I'm seeing people transition to the guy that that did the show Rugrats.
Mhm.
So he started following me on Twitter one night, and he like reached out and was like, "Hey man, my son and I are doing this project. Like would love to chat with you." And that's kind of where like we haven't spoken since then, but it's super interesting because I'm like, holy smokes, like dude, I used to watch this show when I was younger, and it's really cool because you can see traditional artists or people that are talented. I think that they'll have an easier time transitioning into NFTs, and I would highly advise, if you are an artist or if you know an artist and you're listening to this, and point someone in the right direction, because it really could change your lives. And we can talk about that next. But NFTs, in blockchain, it has the ability to turn you from more or less a small fish who found a good opportunity into a blockchain whale.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was your first NFT project, or first NFT project you bought into.
Yep.
What are some significant ones that you've been involved with since?
Yeah, so I would say, arguably Neo Tokyo is a significant one that I am involved in and have been involved in, just because the community is next level. There's other ones that I've participated in where it's exciting and everyone's watching the floor or talking about things on Twitter and stuff. But in NFTs on social media, there's a very short attention span. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. So,
I think there's a short attention span in social media, and then like it gets worse with like Instagram, and then it gets worse with TikTok.
Yeah,
I think crypto is just like you either have their full attention or like you're gone forever.
Yeah. So there's this saying. One of my old mentors told me when I first got into my consulting business, when you pay attention. So I think that when people pay a lot, for example, right now, people can buy a Bored Ape Yacht Club for, I think the floor is 120 Ethereum. Ethereum is around 3,000. I don't look at the charts today, but so roughly we're talking around $360,000 for a picture of a monkey. And if you guys are listening to this and you're not familiar with that, you can just go type in Bored Ape Yacht Club. You've got Justin Bieber, you've got Steph Curry, you've got Jimmy Fallon, you've got Paris Hilton, you've got all these people that wear this on social media. Instead of themselves, their profile picture, their avatar is that. So it's really interesting, because I think that people that are highly invested in projects like that, they have more commitment to it. But most of the time people will pop into something, they'll flip it, make a 2 to 5x. So, you put a couple $100 in, hopefully you're able to pull 1,000 out, and then you can do that again and again and again. And, but Neo Tokyo is one that, getting into that, I think I minted. So being a part of building
you minted that.
Yeah. And so being a part of that journey, we had to go through a bunch of hoops, for better or worse.
Yeah.
And, a good friend of mine in the space, Darren, he'd been in blockchain for about 4.5 years at that time. So it's been almost 5.5 now for him. But, we were just chatting. We were part of a crypto group that was kind of trading and talking about, Neo Tokyo and things like that. And then we went off and we started the NFT research lab. And that is where essentially we came together with a group of people, and we were able to, help people along the way. We put in tools. So for example, whale watching. You can watch wallets and see what people are doing. What are they trading? What are they buying? What are they selling? And when are they doing it? We had tools that were talking about new listings and lots of things like that. And then we also would try and steer people in the direction of making money while trying to work together to get into Neo Tokyo. So we had a lot of people from that group, get into Neo Tokyo, but we were in there all the time, man.
Yeah.
Like on voice chat all the time, and just getting to know people from all over the world. And Alex always operated on EST. So there'd be people that would wake up at like 3 a.m. their time or something and come hang out with us. And it was really cool. But that community is really built on the foundation of working together and, helping each other succeed and accomplish things in different ways. Because there is lawyers, there's accountants, there is artists, there's blockchain developers, there's literally anything you can imagine. I think that Neo Tokyo is a great place to network.
I think Becker and Elio did a really good job of making the community like they had this vision. I think they executed it at a really high level. I know there's some people that are still complaining, whatever. But I mean, I've been in it. I didn't get to mint, or
Yeah.
I paid 59 ETH
Yeah, well,
to get in.
Yeah.
But I've been really thoroughly impressed by the community and extremely supportive. How many? I mean, did you mint one? Do you have any? Did you buy any other that were really cheap?
Yeah, so I followed the rules to a T, just because there was a time that, you know, we could have got blacklisted if we did this, that, and the other thing. And, you know, I don't know how, you know, true that was, but yeah, I went ahead and just minted one, and, you know, it was a cool experience, man. I'm super happy with my citizen, the way he turned out, and all that stuff. I think I have like a top, I don't know, there's people that have been shuffling. I haven't checked Rarity Mon in a while, but I got like a top 100 or something like that. So
yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I got a penthouse, like one of 27, and it's cool because they put opportunities out there for people to do this. There's a lot of people that left Neo Tokyo, they were able to flip it because it's free mint.
Yeah,
free mint. Someone sold for $1 million. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, I talked to someone in there, and it's just casually chatting with the people in there.
Yeah.
And one of the guys is like, yeah, you know, his story is like, yeah, you know, I bought a bunch of ETH back in the day when it was $7. Like,
yep.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
And then he's like,
I know
yeah,
exactly what you're talking about. Yep.
and he's like, yeah, you know, I have like 20 citizens. Like,
yep.
Wow, that is unbelievable. It's a great, fortunate position to be in.
Yeah.
So, now you're talking about NFT Research Lab, and I know that you and I talked a couple weeks ago about it, and as a project you were really proud of.
Yeah.
So you want to elaborate on what you guys did and where that's at the moment?
Yeah. So NFT Research Lab was more or less something that Darren and I spun off from. We were a part of another group that was, you know, trading and looking at Neo Tokyo as an opportunity, and yeah, we started that, and we wanted to provide more tools. We wanted to provide, you know, opportunities for people to trade and make money, because I'd had success with coins. Darren had success with coins. We were both previous Web 2, if you will, entrepreneurs, meaning we had traditional businesses that did very well prior to getting into NFTs and blockchain. So, yeah, we wanted to help people. That was a big driver for us. So we gave away NFTs just randomly. I was just like, hey, dude, should we give away some NFTs today? So it was a fun experience to really keep people engaged. And like I said, to just get to know each other. I still have great friends from that experience that, you know, we've not only made a lot of, you know, money together, but, you know, learned how to flip NFTs. Hopefully, you know, a lot of people in there had prior experience, so they would share their wisdom. But yeah, it was super cool, man. It's something I'm proud of, because we did get a lot of people in Neo Tokyo, and the people that didn't, you know, again, they had opportunities in front of them to, you know, utilize these tools and you know, make money. So
the one thing I do want to talk about is Non-Fungible Arcade.
Yeah.
But before we get into that, was there anything else significant along your journey along the way?
Yeah, absolutely. So, like I said, after everything happened with getting into Neo Tokyo, you know, a big thing that we did, and, you know, that we wanted to do, was make sure that we had an impact on the community. So, you know, move forwards, and with a citizen at the time, started a project. It's called Good Luck Gators. Shout out to the Gators. That's my fam. Those are my people. So yeah. So that was the first thing that we did. And you and I have talked about this. You know, you set an intention in business, and, you know, you move forward. So we executed on that, and we were doing giveaways, and, you know, it was super cool. It was an awesome experience, and to be able to see that and be able to, you know, do giveaways and have an opportunity to help people, and man, it was a wild ride. So that was the first project that I did, and, you know, from there, wanted to make games. A guy that we were working with for Good Luck Gators, you know, basically the opportunity was, hey, let's make a game, and it didn't work out with him. So I was like, all right, well, let me go ahead and see what's up with this. So moved, and from there, the idea of Non-Fungible Arcade came, and yeah, man.
So what was the original intent? Because I've seen it and it looks cool. I mean, I look at it. It reminds me of, and, you know, some of these younger people may not have any idea what I'm talking about. Is Double Dragon and Contra, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, back in the Nintendo 8-bit days.
That's right.
Before Super Nintendo.
Yeah, the idea was to make something fun. I really the big focus was with NFT Research Lab, with Gators. Even my business prior was to change lives, help people. And I think a big part of that and my personality is making things fun. So we wanted to do a game and stuck with that theme of it being more or less like an arcade game versus trying to flesh out a AAA game or something like Call of Duty. That's just not this wasn't what I was going for. So decided that we were going to do that. And with Gators, I wanted to do something like Mario Kart, but this was moving forward. It's like, hey, it would be really cool to test the waters with like a fun side scroller game, kind of like what you were talking about, Contra, Double Dragon. And I found a dev and it was super casual. I was like, hey man, I'm looking to see if I can come up with something and want to do it as soon as possible. How's a month sound? He's like, you're crazy. I'm like, you're right. Let's see what we can do. And it was amazing. And ever since then, just kind of teasing it and stuff, we've been super grateful to have super talented people join the ecosystem and come on and work with us. And I'm super, I don't know if the word is proud, but I'm very happy with where we're at, and the future looks very bright.
And you got a ton of crazy positive feedback.
Yeah.
On Twitter, right? You were getting tagged left and right with the betas.
Yeah.
So that's got to be a huge moment for you.
Yeah, it really was. We've had people from day one out of the gate. We've had people that have been like, hey, let me be part of this, and turn down over 7 figures from individuals.
Nice.
Well,
nice to be in a position to do it, but nice to get that credibility. It's like, hey, like there's value here.
Yeah. It's like, let me make sure that this is a thing. And cause I had an experience, I'm trying to be respectful, but I had an experience with a game developer with Gators, where we basically were led to, we're kind of led along and nothing was happening behind the scenes, more or less. So if you've ever been in a situation where you have to let someone go or deal with that, it was unfortunate. So there's no way that I was gonna put someone else in a position for that to happen. So I was like, let me take care of this. Let me make sure this is a thing and this works and we get it going. And along the entire way, it was a process of being like, hold on, we wanted to prove that concept and really make something happen. So with beta, getting feedback, we were able to prove that concept, and we have our next beta this weekend. And it's really it's exciting, man.
My brother over there is a gamer, so you guys send it to him so he can check out the beta.
Oh yeah.
So what's interesting is that you decided to go and make a game and self-fund it.
Yep. Because
the trend today seems to be a money grab.
Yep.
And just launch a project with a concept, see how much money you can raise, and then use that money to maybe develop the game.
Yeah. So a good example, I'm not just giving data here. I'm not taking shots at anybody. Good example is Star Atlas. They got up to a $5 billion valuation, and they were like, hey, we'll ship a game in 5 years. Like, all right, well, if the world's still around and if people are still interested, hopefully that happens. And it's a really unique position to be in. Me personally, I wouldn't feel comfortable with that. I would really have a hard time sleeping, knowing that I've 5 years ahead of me, because developing games on the scale that they're trying to accomplish things is no small task. And I get that. The idea was like hook, line, and sinker, right? Like let's get people interested in this game, and so at least we can say we were there first. But again, to each their own. But you look at that. A16Z, they just launched a platform where you can be pre-idea. I'm not kidding.
Pre-idea.
Their words are even in some cases pre-idea. So I'd imagine if you're a successful entrepreneur or someone that has an audience and attention, they'll help like push you in the right directions.
It's like an author that's about to write a book that they don't have an idea for yet.
No idea what to write about. So A16Z, they're a very cool company. They've done a lot of great things. Brian Cho from there is a good guy, but their whole concept behind it is they'll give you up to $1 million, and that's it. And it's just unreal, man, because that doesn't happen. I have a buddy that just got a $30 million valuation of his company, and they haven't made their game yet. But
yeah, well, So I bought a few NFT projects, because like I am still a complete noob, right? Like if you guys watching this, like legitimately, I bought my first NFT was Neo Tokyo, and that was actually at the end of January. So I'm not even 3 months into the space yet.
Yeah.
Right.
It's exciting.
It is very exciting. So I bought into a few projects, and wow, like the expectations before the launch, and then you got the mint.
Yep.
And then it's like this hurry up and wait. Yeah. And like God knows when this project is going to finish. And like you look at what's the word I'm looking for? The ambitions of what they're trying to deliver. It's like, man, that is a crazy project. And I think, what's that game? Is it EverQuest? Like it was one of those games like they took, like their sequel was supposed to take like a year and a half and it took like 5 years.
Yep. Okay.
Right? It's like,
I know what you're talking about with EverQuest.
Yeah. So like it's just crazy. Like you're investing in that project and you're talking about like 5 billion over 5 years. Like when is this thing going to deliver?
Yeah. In crypto, 5 years is, it's like 50 years, man. So
I feel like I lived a lifetime already. It hasn't been 3 months.
I'll tell you what, man, it's crazy. But yeah, so we decided to self-fund, push to beta, and now we're talking to, we have some people that are extremely interested in, coming on and helping out, whether that be strategic advisors that we have that have 30 years of experience in the gaming space and have shipped some games. And I'm like, wow, like I grew up playing those games and they've seen it all, done it all. I mean, being in a video game space for the last 30 years and to meet and say, you've really got something. I was kind of floored because it's one thing to have your biased opinion. Like this is going to be the next big thing. Yeah. But when someone that again has seen it all, done it all, shipped over 600 super successful games to come in and be like, hey, I want to be a part of this. It's pretty crazy, man.
Yeah,
so
the recognition is huge. So we got a couple of questions here.
Okay.
First question is from Leon Emmanuel. What's the best NFT to buy right now?
Oh man, you're asking for financial advice. I can't tell you that because I don't know what your goals are. I don't know what your budget is. I don't know what your ambitions are. I don't know if you're looking to flip. Are you looking to hold? Are you looking to wear a profile picture? Are you looking to, I guess that would depend on opportunity. I would say
that's an interesting analysis because most people are just jumping like, oh, this is it.
Yeah. Right? Yeah.
So you're saying there's a lot of things to consider depending on your objectives.
Yeah. If you want recognition and you have, disposable income more or less, Bored Ape Yacht Club, Azuki, you can argue because it's a newer project, but Moonbirds. So get this, Moonbirds minted over Easter weekend.
Mm-hmm.
They minted. The mint was 2.5 Ethereum, so roughly $7,000 more or less. And it jumped up to 20 Ethereum, and I think it's sitting there right now. They did about $300 million in sales volume over Easter weekend.
Yeah.
So crazy. They're backed by Flamingo DAO. They got Kevin Rose, Ryan Carson. These are big Web2 money guys that have really done things in the space. So they're kind of interconnected. So that's one that I would say it's early. So again, this is all not financial advice, but looking at the opportunity to wear a profile picture that if you're looking for recognition in the space easily, those look at the top 10 on Byte or on OpenSea, and you can poke around. Definitely do your own research. Definitely form your own opinions. Hop in a Discord. Look at the Twitter. Do some research about the founders. Figure out everything you can to make an analysis. Because let me know if you can relate to this, but I know a lot of people when they look at ETH, they're like, oh, well, it's just 3 ETH.
Mm-hmm.
But if you flip it, you're like, oh, that's just $9,000. My mom will come and smack me with a sandal upside the head or something. So it can feel very detached from the financial piece and the reality. And I think a lot of people will gamble because it's only 3 ETH.
Well, and it's something I noticed very quickly when I got into it, right? Because it's a lot like poker. It's a very strong detachment from like the monetary value to just a chip.
Yep.
So like if you're playing, no limit, right? It's just chips.
Yeah.
You don't even think about it, right? But it's a lot of money. I remember when I was in Vegas last, like each person at the table had over $20,000 in front of them, between all these different chips.
Yeah.
I think crypto world is the same thing. It's like these people treat ETH like it's nothing.
Yeah.
But it's real money. Now, I actually had a conversation with my younger brother. Right? He's grinding for us. Like, how the hell did you miss Moonbirds?
Yeah. You know what, man? It's I got in the raffle. I missed it too. I think most people, if you look at even the quote unquote larger accounts, they were like price prediction is 5 ETH. We go up to 8 ETH and then scale back down. So I was like, let me sit back and watch this. And yeah, I mean, the rest was kind of history. So, for myself, I guess to circle back and answer the question, sorry to make a long story shortly on, but I personally would look at what's up and coming next. Not necessarily the next Moonbirds, but what can you get in and ride that wave? Because it's way better to buy at the mint price, around the mint price, than it is to buy the top. Because now, again, unless you have disposable income and you just want that, you want to wear that to get, I guess, recognition.
Yeah. Well, and that was the conversation with him. I was like, what did we miss? How did this fall through the cracks, right? So, and not to say that he necessarily did anything wrong. It's just like, what lessons can we learn?
Yeah.
So to make sure we get the next quote unquote Moonbirds.
Yeah.
And right now we got 15 guys in Twitter Spaces. So guys, if you want to ask your question, you got to click the link to get into YouTube so that we can answer the questions in the YouTube chat. It's Gorillas on YouTube. What is the best Discord channel to join?
Yeah. So again, it's a very vague question. It's hard to answer that without knowing ambitions, goals, things like that. But I would look at, what are you trying to do? You can check out NFT Research Lab. We have a ton of free tools in there. If you want to join builders, such as Steve and myself, you can hop into Neo Tokyo, see what it's all about. There is a general chat. It really depends on what you're doing or what you're looking to do. But I would definitely say those are good places to start.
Yeah. And then a question from Felix Dubois on YouTube is, what's the best alpha group to join?
Best alpha group. Again, that's see, they're getting straight to the point. Yeah, again, it depends if you want to do coins, if you want to do NFTs, things like that. I don't really want to sit up here and shill anything, but you can look at following myself on Twitter and seeing kind of what I post about. There's a couple other people. Hustlepedia is a good friend of mine, and he posts about crypto games and coins and how to be successful in that. And there's people that would kind of slowly get into it. Ready Player H is a citizen. Him and Zan, they started a group called Steady Stack. They share a lot of information there. So those are great places to get your feet wet without putting a bunch of money up, and you can kind of say, hey, what is this? Poke around, ask some questions before deciding that you want to spend some money hopping in a Neo Tokyo or what have you. Yeah.
And for me, I mean, I like I said, I'm in Neo Tokyo. Like, it's really cool to connect with other people, other doors that are open, right? So like, that's how you and I connected. It's how I was able to connect with Ready Player H, and it's how I was able to connect with ExoRoxit, right? And I'm in Spectre VC, so that's an incredible group. I mean, it's like I've used this reference. It's going to trigger some people, right? But it's like the ultimate insider trading. Like you're going to do better than Nancy Pelosi, right? If you're if you're in these groups, right? It's like, she's the best stock trader of all time.
Yeah.
Right. So you're going to do better than that if you've got like the insider access.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, Spectre, the beta, if you will, was the Neo Tokyo Investment Group. And it was cool to be a part of that and just kind of have, things thrown your way. We've gotten a lot of whitelists for imposters, for Spectre, and a ton of other stuff. There's literally a section in Neo Tokyo where you can go every single day and you can enter in whitelist giveaways and raffles and things like that. And I'm talking like we've got guys that will source out every single project that's out there. So Neo Tokyo is a super ambitious group of people that are getting after it and
the sizable outreach community.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So my younger brother, he has to listen to every single AMA.
Yeah.
Every day. I don't know how many, like 2 or 3 AMAs. Yeah, listen to all of them. He's got to do a report on them.
Yeah, Felix is a good friend of mine as well, and he's a big part of Spectre, and he's also he's one of the main guys that does the AMAs in Neo Tokyo. So I would highly recommend anything that he's got going on. He's a part of is anytime I put my money behind what Felix is doing, I haven't been disappointed.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, well-respected name. Follow-up question from Felix is, what's the best way to make connections in space? How do you build a good network?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So for me, it was looking at how can I provide value and leading with that. I think that it's just like in business, you want to try to understand how you can get involved. But I really think that doing some due diligence prior to, kind of jumping in and saying like me, what really does help. If you have experience from, a Web 2 business, if you will, like you with real estate, there's a lot that you can teach a lot of people about, if you just made a bunch of money and maybe you're doing well, but now you're a blockchain whale and, you want to park some of your money in different things other than, ETH and this NFT and that, they can learn about real estate from you. So yeah, I think that, taking what you're good at and trying to share that in exchange, learning from others is a huge concept of that. But again, following you, following Ready Player H, following Felix, Norden, following Hustlepedia, follow me if you would like, Dr. Jpeg on Twitter. But I think just kind of looking around and, I think that's a good place to start. At least that's how I got started anyways.
Yeah, and absolutely, right? Just following the people that are making a dent or people doing what you're doing. And I think just the same lesson is true in every industry is giving value where you can, helping people, right? With whatever experience you got, expertise you got, or even if you don't have the experience and expertise, but like, how can I help you? Like, what are some things that you need as far as maybe grinding whitelist? I don't know, right? Yeah. But just something that's going to help other people.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you had a chance to speak at a conference recently.
Yeah. So good friend of mine, Will, he is he's one of the co-founders of Byte, and Byte is a chain agnostic, meaning that if you have Solana NFTs, you have Ethereum NFTs, etc., you don't have to go to these different marketplaces like Magic Eden and OpenSea. And if you're not familiar with blockchain NFTs, I know what I'm saying right now sounds like nonsense, but it's very much so. If you think of like designer stores like Gucci, there's Louis, and you have to go to the individual store to buy things. Well, they've decided to kind of collectively put everything together to make it easier for people to participate in transacting with selling different NFTs. But
it's the currency component, right? Yeah. Like you can buy this in dollars, you can buy it in euros, you can buy it in yen, right? So it's one store that can accept multiple currencies.
Yeah, well, you're able to go there and you're able to purchase the different NFTs on different blockchains. So,
right.
But yeah, he was like, "Hey, I'm speaking at NFT Miami," and he tagged me in something, and I was like, "Well, I'm planning on going down for Bitcoin Miami, and I'm going to GDC in San Francisco." I was like, "I don't know if I'm gonna be able to swing it." In NFT Miami, they tagged me. They were like, "Hey, what you're doing looks cool. Let's talk."
Yeah.
And I was like, all right. So we just kind of had a DM chat back and forth, and they invited me, and I was accepted to speak. And I was chatting actually on the phone with the person putting it together at the time. And they were like, "Oh, thanks for everything you're doing." I'm like, "Hey, well, if you want some more good people." Mm-hmm. And she was like, "Yeah, tell me more." So I seriously got like 7 of my friends, I think, to speak there, and to have an opportunity to share their information that they have to share with everyone there, and their knowledge. And of course, we partied a little bit.
Of course.
Got a boat and did some other things. So
yeah, oh, that's awesome. What did you talk about there?
Yeah, so there was 3 panels that I was on when I was down there. The first one was an IP, talking about IP in the NFT space, and it's an interesting topic because you have something like a Bored Ape, a Meebit, a CryptoPunk. You have an opportunity to use that IP for commercial use. There's a guy that opened a burger place in California. It's like Bored Burgers or something. And yeah, I mean, the whole entire premises of his burger shop is around his ape and his mutant. So that's pretty cool. So he's able to earn income off that. And then there's other projects you go out there and they brought in 50 million, but they don't have terms and conditions on their site. So you don't really know what to do. You have to try and get a hold of someone. But we talked about that with my buddy Eli, aka Rat King. He's he's talking about his music. He's an artist, and he launched a music NFT. So
he's super active.
Yeah, he's a good guy. So we spoke about that. Then I spoke about why Web3 matters with Will and a few other really cool guys that were traditional VCs that jumped into the crypto space and some others. And then Felix, myself, we spoke about what was the topic that we did, and Eli, future of NFTs. So just a few different things, and just trying to share, what we consider is valuable knowledge.
Yeah, it's interesting. Is there something that's particularly about Miami? Like, is there something that they're trying to be more aggressive and like staking their flag in the ground?
Yeah, absolutely. So Miami is their goal is to become like Silicon Valley of crypto. It's like a crypto hub. So they've been super active out of the gate with, doing crypto conferences and things like that. They actually just put a Bitcoin bowl up over Bitcoin weekend, or the Bitcoin weekend. Yeah. So, they're doing a lot of stuff. And, when you look at Paradise Valley, Scottsdale, out here, even LA, there's a lot of money, right? But Miami is this next level. So,
well, I'm going to try to stake our flag in the ground here for Phoenix.
Yeah.
So hopefully I can rely on you to
man.
support 100%. This cause. One of the reasons why we're launching the show here.
Yeah.
So a question on YouTube. This is a Furcon, and I think this is a question that a lot of people have different versions of the same exact question.
All right, let's go.
How do you get over missing a Neo Tokyo mint because you didn't have the $50 for gas?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's the same question I asked myself about why I decided that I was going to be a degen. You know how it is, Steve, when you get burnt out from business, sometimes you're like, all right, I'm going to go off and, hop on a plane and go somewhere for a little bit with some friends. And I decided to do that, and I missed Bored Ape and I missed CryptoPunks. And, that hurt. Yeah, that hurt bad, man.
Both of those.
Yeah, that hurt. You and I just missed Moonbirds. I think that the answer is, just like what you said when you're talking to your brother, you learn from it. Well, why did we miss it? What happened? I wasn't ready. I could have moved my money that I had, sitting in my arguably useless bank account to my Coinbase or MetaMask. And, the big conversation that we had in the NFT research lab, I remember myself, Moose, and Brighty. Yes, those are their names on Discord and in the space. But we're all highly recommending that people have more than enough, available to mint. But hey, man, you know what? I would say that things happen. You can choose to let that define you, or you can learn from it and move forwards and say, all right, well, got it. Next time I'll make sure that I'm prepared. I'll move forwards from that and come back with a vengeance.
Well, I think there's a couple of other things too, right? On top of trying to learn from the lesson, is that there's no shortage of opportunities.
Right.
Like there's going to be more opportunities. We're still relatively early. Now, where are we on that cycle? We don't know for sure, but we're still relatively early.
Yeah.
So I think there's that. And then I think that, I don't know, like almost all attorneys are alcoholics, I think there might be an element, like if you're in this space, like you're going to have an ulcer or you gotta have like a ready supply of Pepto-Bismol.
FOMO is real, man. I try to post about it. I post about it with the ApeCoin thing, right? Like on top, if it wasn't enough to have an NFT that, some people pay $200 for a Bored Ape. But I mean, they held through being able to sell for 50 ETH, for being able to sell for 70 ETH, being able to sell for 100 ETH, and rightfully so. They received the ApeCoin drop, but these apes. I think apes got somewhere around, if you owned a Bored Ape, the monkey picture for people that aren't familiar with NFTs and crypto, you got airdropped a coin called Ape. That I remember one of my friends, he sold quite early. He sold half of it right away, which is a smart move. He sold half of it for $50K. He had a mutant. I think he got airdropped around $18K. I was right out the gate and it went up, and it's like anything else. It goes up, goes down. Yeah. But they had, now they have an opportunity to be whitelisted for the best land in the Bored Ape Yacht Club metaverse called the Other Side. So, it stings. It does, but you have to be like, all right, cool. What's next? And if you really want to be a part of that ecosystem, you look for ways to do that by buying Ape or by buying the land or flipping your way up if Neo Tokyo is something that you want to be a part of. Because we've seen a lot of people do it.
Yeah. And I mean, for me personally, I got, fortunately, a younger brother that I can trust, and he's in there. But he's just reading all day, every day. And if you're not in that one, right? There's other groups. Trying to think, there's some other ones. Steady Stack.
Yeah,
right.
That's a good one.
You could be in Steady Stack and just digest all the content in there.
Yep.
And that can prepare you for the next one.
Yeah, I would say that, and just really being on the money. If you have a full-time job and you're trying to be active in the space, which is extremely difficult, you can look at opportunities to hire VCs that will help you with things. Hire friends, work with people where maybe on your days off you'll kind of do the whitelist grinding or the putting in the research and balance it out, and it's a really cool space right now, man.
It's interesting. And we say grind, and it just takes me back to the poker days. Like you just sit there and you just suffer until you get what you need out of it.
Yeah. Well, the people with excuse me, the people with Moonbirds, I have a friend that won raffle, and like a few. I have a few friends that won. You want to talk about it? I had one buddy that got 5, I had one buddy that got 2, and one buddy that got 1. And one of my friends sold. He paid about $7,000, and he sold it for about $30,000.
Yeah.
So it took him 2 clicks.
All right.
So in front of your computer, you click a button twice. 1, bought it, 7,000 out. 2, click it, sell it, 30,000 in. So
yeah, I'm paying a lot of attention to imposters, right? I don't know where it's gonna go, but like, in that Discord, the guy's like, I got 5 of these. Like, man,
yeah, but that's the reason I bring that up is
I'm talking about 5 Moonbirds. It's like 5 imposters got 5 Moonbirds.
Yeah,
like, man, that's incredible.
Yeah, that's the reason I bring it up is because you're talking about the grinding and kind of suffering, but you can look at the other opportunities. 5 of them, let's just say, he was able to, put in what that would be like 30K and walk away with 150.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but I think for the average person, shoot for me, dude, that's awesome, man. And that was in a span of 24 hours. I'm not talking a year, not talking, half a year, talking 24 hours.
Yeah. So I think one of the things that you shared with me privately was like you had an offer for your citizen in regard to apes.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, that's interesting. Someone had offered to trade me an ape. This was at like the peak of Neo Tokyo. Someone tried, I could have sold my land, so not my citizen, but I could have sold my penthouse for I think the first one sold for 250K.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the 4 pieces. So I could have sold that for around that, and I was like, no, this we're gonna have landed big time. So 127. So I passed on that, and then someone offered at the hype of things to trade me a Bored Ape, and I said no. And looking back on it, you can only evaluate it the way you want to, but I still would do the same thing if I could go back in time, because the friends, the network connections, the opportunities, and everything that's come from this, for me anyways, has been priceless.
Yeah. And the same thing for me, like I bought in for 59 ETH. Now, the good thing was I bought it when ETH took a major dump.
Yeah, so I remember you telling me that. That was a good play. That was a good play.
So that was really fortunate. So even though I couldn't get anywhere close to 59 ETH, if I were to have to fire sell it today, I'm in for 140K. I could probably sell it for 60, 70, right? So yeah, it's not, it's a loss, but man, the value gained.
That's it.
In being in there in the relationships created is absolutely unbelievable. So
we won't talk about it, but we're talking about potentially doing something, and there's a lot of other people in there that again we can both learn from, and we can help. So I think it's priceless.
We may or may not be doing something together, so you definitely want to stay tuned.
Yeah.
So another question for you. I know we talked about Non-Fungible Arcade a little bit already. Perfect world. What's going to happen with that in the next 2 or 3 years?
Yeah, so perfect world for Non-Fungible Arcade. We continue to expand and grow, and the way that we're doing things is different. So crypto games right now, the typical model is you buy an NFT, and then you can, depending on when you get in, it could cost you somewhere between USD value 500 up to $4,000, and then you're able to get this token from it, and you can kind of farm the token. And what I mean by that is the more active you are with the game, the more you're able to get this token from, and you can change that for ETH, and then you can make a profit there, and it's interesting, but it's not sustainable, and it's not for everybody. So, perfect world, we continue to push in the direction that we're going, where you look at behavioral economics in the traditional gaming world, and people, microtransactions are a huge thing that we're focused on. Low barrier to entry. Like, imagine you pay $1,500 for something, and you don't even like the game. You're like, well, and then you find out that it's only worth $300 now. You're like, well, that was a bad experience.
Yeah.
And we want to bring a larger audience into this. So changing that to you can come in and spend a fraction of that at Non-Fungible Arcade, and if you hate the games, like, I get it. It's not for everybody. That's that's the way that someone feels. No hard feelings, and you're not out potentially significant amount of money or feeling some type of way about it. But yeah, so low barrier to entry, come in, and it's based on skill, so you're rewarded based on skill, as opposed to just I paid for the most expensive thing. People call it pay to win, right? I paid for the most expensive thing. Now I'm able to earn the most or do better. And we continue to partner with games. We have a few games already contracted. Man, I can't find enough developers fast enough. But
that's cool.
We take these open IP, and we partner with projects, and we reach out to them, and hey, you want to make an arcade game? And they're like, I have so much on my plate. I'm like, yeah, we'll do it for you. They're like, say less, right?
Yeah.
Because they're busy, and we're able to give them instant utility for their community. And their community can come in and have an opportunity at making some money, but more importantly, you get to actually play a game that's fun, and we'll grow from there, and then we'll be onboarding devs. So opportunity where you don't have to go through the hoops to learn blockchain developing and all that good stuff, but you can just come in as a developer and say, hey, I have this game. Want to put it in Non-Fungible Arcade. We'll check it out. Do we like it? Is it fun? Is it well received? We'll audit it. Some quick little things like that, and then stick it into Non-Fungible Arcade. You can start making money as a developer on a game you already created, and we want it to be a good opportunity, a good feeling, and give crypto gaming a good presence.
That's cool. Another question from Felix on YouTube is, what's your suggestion for people who are involved in a lot of things? Is it better to focus on only one thing? He makes websites, videos, he trades NFTs, Forex, and he feels lost sometimes.
Yeah, that is a lot, man. You are a team in and of yourself, and I just want to give you props that's doing a lot. And look at your talents. Like, what you're truly extremely good at. What you prefer to do, and I would kind of start with that. Everything else is the icing on top, or the cherry on top, right? So let's say he said he does videos. So
yep, makes videos.
Yeah. So if that's something you're passionate about, I would start offering your services with that. And then the other things are kind of on top. So if you're working with an NFT project and you're good at videos, you're the video guy that's also good at NFT projects. You're like, oh, this is perfect. This is awesome. So stack those skills, but definitely like narrow it down, dial it in on what you're passionate about, because that's what you'll be best at, and that's what you'll be happiest doing. So those kind of go hand in hand.
So for you, right, someone that's jumping into a space today,
okay,
what did you wish you knew when you got into it that someone should know today?
Yeah. I would say take your time. And I know that that's such a, maybe a backwards mentality to have in this space, at least if you go look at things, but learn a thing or two before you jump on and, start playing with money, because like we talked about, it can be gambling. There's a lot of, unfortunately, because we're early, there's a lot of scammy sites out there. You think you're going to something legit, you can lose everything.
I've been there.
Yeah. And it's crazy. So I would say take your time, learn, try and find a community that you vibe and mesh with, and foster relationships in that. And like I said, offer services, ask information, hang out, go on voice chat. Definitely don't have an ego. I mean, I guess that's a you thing, more or less, referring to how someone wants to navigate it. But I think that you don't know what you don't know until you put yourself out there and you're willing to learn from other people. And people in the NFT space, it's super embracing and willing to help. So.
Yeah. I would say one thing is I learned in this space really quickly. You kind of mentioned the scam component.
Yeah.
Is that there's no shortage of ways to get scammed.
Nope.
So be ultra careful, be very methodical. And it's hard for me. I'm not a slow moving person. I'm a very fast moving person.
Yep.
Like my team found out yesterday that we're doing this podcast today, right? We didn't have a logo. We didn't have a website. We didn't have anything. I'm a very fast paced person, but you got to slow down in this space, because if you don't, that's how I got scammed, right? I lost 2.5 ETH, thought I was minting something.
Yep.
I was not.
Yeah. I would say Discord, turn off your messages from people you don't know. So you can go under your settings and make sure you only get messages from friends. If you receive a message from someone claiming to be a project, when you join a Discord is the most common thing. They'll claim to be a project. They're like, minting now. Don't click on that. Don't mess with that. The only links you should be looking at is under the Discord. There's official links, right? So under the Discord, there's official links. And then again, double check it. Like, make sure that the URL is legit. I check Twitter. I'll check with other friends. Don't be afraid to look dumb, because that's a part of the whole ego thing. And then the other thing I'll suggest on that is having different wallets. I have about 7, and I have friends that have like way more than that. But you want to have a wallet that you move money to mint these things, because if you do get hacked, worst case scenario, maybe you lose whatever the amount of money would have been. Like, they can only drain you for a little bit versus a lot of it. I mean, we've seen people. Yeah, it's unfortunate, man. I mean, there's people that have lost like several Bored Apes, and
it's really surprising to me how many people have so many valuable things.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like I'm not doing incredibly well, right? I just have, again, I have 3 imposters, and each imposter has their own wallet, and maybe it's overkill, but for me, I don't know how this whole combining the UFO and the pets and the land, all this other stuff. I'm just keeping everything different wallets, because I don't know what the restrictions are. I was coached by somebody. It's like, hey, I have a Super Farms and a Citizens. Like, make sure they're in different wallets so you get multiple whitelists. Like, okay, great. So moving forward, everything's going to be in their own wallet.
Yeah, yeah. I would just say that you have a wallet that's more like a safety deposit box that you can get a ledger. You rarely, if ever, interacts with the blockchain. You should just be moving stuff from one wallet. Kind of de-risk, move things from your hot wallet to like a warm wallet, if you will. And then you have what's called your cold wallet, and all that happens in that is you move things there, and then they just chill there, and that's it. You can move them out if you want to put them on the marketplace to sell. But I definitely think that that's a good approach to take.
Yeah, and I mean, social engineering is a really real thing, and these guys have mastered it. Anytime anyone gets fished, it's because they're moving too fast.
Yeah.
All right. So if you guys enjoyed this episode, again, please subscribe, like, share, comment. We are going to be doing more content, and like I said, there'll be more to come. So if someone wants to get a hold of you, follow you, where should they go?
Yeah. So best place to do that is at Twitter. It's at Dr. Jpeg _. So that's that. You can follow me if you'd like. We have Non-Fungible Arcade. It's at NF Arcade on Twitter, and that's mainly the place I hang out. And then do some chatting on Discord. But I think that's a good place to start, and I'm super excited about what we're doing. I've got a ton of friends that I think would be excited to come out and chat and be a part of this. And like I said, what we're doing is going to be cool. So
awesome.
Got a lot of good stuff coming.
Awesome, very cool. Thank you very much.
Sure, man.
See you guys next time.